recently to meet with us earlier on 1468.
So for people to understand, this is the lobbyist or the representative from the California School Board Association, CSBA. Oops, I might have muted it here. There we go.
Saw the language in 715. CSBA wasn't able to take a position since the bill was just introduced, but we wanted to share respectfully share our serious concerns with the bill that will likely result in CSBA taking an opposed position on the bill.
That will likely result in them taking an opposed position, right? So he's sort of saying, we haven't decided yet, but here's our concerns of why we might probably more than likely not support it.
And so people understand who this is and who he represents. This is the association that advocates on behalf of the elected school board members of the state of California.
Yes.
Why they need their own association, they don't advocate for themselves and their own constituents, I'm not sure. But he's going to make a case.
But he's probably going to oppose a bill that says that being anti-Semitic to Jews in K through 12 is not a good idea. So,
Education Code 244 is problematic. Boards approve and adopt agenda items. They do not act to allow specific materials used by teachers.
To be clear, what he is saying there is super important. Current law says that school board members adopt and approve. There is a new term or new word that is used in this bill that says allow. And what this bill is looking to do is to close the loophole that allows teachers to freely express themselves and their political points of view in the classroom and absolve the school board members who are elected to prevent that kind of behavior from happening. And so what the state is trying to do now is step in and say, we want to hold those actors accountable for that activity, and their association is opposing it.
Now, this is one of the biggest pieces that we in the school district, parents in the school district, are dealing with on a daily basis. You go, you make your comments at the school board meeting, and they say, well, we adopted this curriculum. We don't know what the teachers are using in the classroom. So, and parents are like, but you're like, if this was a company, you have no oversight over your employees in your district. So you don't know what they're showing to the kids. And then when parents come in and say, can you show me what you're using in the classroom? They're like, well, we don't really want to share that because we don't want transparency. And so parents are getting this double runaround where the school board is saying, well, we approved it, this curriculum, don't know if it's being used. Let's say it's great curriculum, don't know if it's being used, have no way to control it. And the teachers are saying, yeah, I know that the school board is the one supposed to be creating the curriculum, but I don't like it. I'm going to use something that I like from Al Jazeera and, whatever, Hamas.
Yeah, you'll hear moving forward words like censorship and open debate and these kinds of things. As we go further into this hearing, remember, we are not talking about colleges and universities. We're talking about K through 12 public schools. Teachers do not have a right to free expression in these environments. They're there to teach what the state asks them to teach and what their local educational agency asks them to teach. So again, bear that in mind, separate that out. We're not in college and universities where we're talking about academic freedom. That doesn't exist in K through 12.
That is a real fallacy that it exists in K through 12. Teachers are not allowed to teach the children what their opinion is as fact. That's Ed Code. It's a law. It already exists. We don't need new laws, but they're not allowed to do that. And so what your personal politics is has no place in classrooms. And that is not a violation of free speech, even though the opposition constantly talks about it as if it was, but it's not.
If a district doesn't directly disallow, for example, a specific resource that might be used, then a district could be subject to a complaint that asserts that the district de facto allowed it.
Correct.
Yes.
Exactly.
If a district is providing resources to teachers that Hamas wrote, then the district is responsible for giving resources to the teachers that Hamas wrote. Like, that's the point of having a school board.
Or by the way, even if the teachers didn't, or if the school board didn't provide it, they're still responsible. That's why they exist. That's the purpose of their existence.
This opens districts up to a whole new category of complaints and
Correct.
puts boards in a position to micromanage what's happening.
No, it puts you in the position to do your job and to
have oversight and accountability to ensure that,
Correct.
yes, God forbid.
The planned expansion of the UCP is also problematic. Board members are locally elected and accountable to their communities. It's unclear what the intent is.
Local electeds are accountable to their communities, but they're also accountable to the law, state and federal.
In instances where a complaint is appealed to the CDE, this would set a troubling precedent.
And bear in mind, he's opposing this portion of the what he calls an expansion of UCP. The model right now is that there is no responsibility. The school board members are not being held responsible at all, and frankly, the only way to hold them responsible is through elections, and even that hasn't even turned out to be effective.
That's a whole other sort of can of worms. But but let's say, okay, you're looking at elected officials at all levels, like you said, federal levels. So what if a member of Congress breaks the law? They shouldn't be held accountable. Like, this whole way of thinking is all about like not taking accountability, not being responsible for what you have signed up to be responsible for. So that was his problem with this, and why he was, quote, likely not to support it.
And elevating the department over locally elected officials. What remedies would CDE have the authority to pursue in response to these complaints? We don't believe this tool is designed for this use. There are already tools available at the local and state level to resolve many of the issues that these provisions attempt to address. We have other concerns as well, but wanted to share some of them with you today. I'm happy to provide more information and answer questions on these issues, and CSBA is committed to working with the authors as the bill moves forward.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So he's willing to work with the authors, but provided that school board members not be held accountable for what's being taught in the school districts that they oversee.
Correct.
Okay. Noted. Next.